Hello, good morning, all. I hope you are able to hear me well. Vignesh, can you confirm?
Yes, sir. Audio is clear.
Okay, great. You're also able to see me, right?
Yes, sir. Video also clear.
Okay, great. So, welcome to this online meeting. I think a Sunday morning, all of you have joined. That's great. Great to see all of you here. I'm able to see a lot of colleagues, ex-colleagues who worked with me, and very happy to see many of you here. And today is supposed to be Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers online. So somebody gave me a message today saying that happy Father's Day to a fantastic father. I said, every father is a fantastic. I think there is no father who is not fantastic. So happy Father's Day to all of you. And I think what I'll do is I'll share my screen and explain to you a little bit more as to how this seminar will go forward. Vignesh, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So the topic, as all of you know, I think it is about fast tracking your career, and I will present some views about this. We have only 1 hour. I'm very much used to conducting 8 hours training programs and 1 year training programs and so on and so forth. So these are all mostly leadership programs. So doing it in 1 hour is a great task for me, but I'll try my best. Um, so some seminar rules, I think as soon as all of you have come in, I think you're all muted anyway. But my request is, these days, I think when we are online, or even if we are not online, I think we are prone to a lot of disturbances, especially our handphones. My request is, please devote this much time now to this seminar. All of you have registered and interested in joining this seminar. So please devote the time for our my presentation, and we will also have some discussion, hopefully. So focus on the seminar. And secondly, you can participate by asking questions. You may say, okay, we're all muted. How do we ask? So you can put the questions in chat box. One of my colleagues is watching it, and I will try to answer them at the end of each session. We will have roughly 4 sessions in this presentation. And at the end of each session, hopefully about 15-20 minutes, I will answer the questions. And if someone wants to talk, you can raise your hand. Again, my colleagues are watching, so they will unmute you during this when one session is over. And you can ask me questions as required. So that's about asking the questions. And then I think I already said about raising the hand when you want to speak, and you can definitely speak. Okay. So I will try my level best to stick to the timelines that we agreed. My presentation, I'm expecting to finish by about 12:15, and then we will have, I don't know, depending on questions, more questions at the end of the session. We can have, I'm quite fine for going up to 1 o'clock also, but it's Sunday, so whatever all of you decide, we will do it. Okay. So that's about some of the seminar rules. And then what is the output that I'm trying to give you from this seminar? Okay, I observe that many of the executives are going through their career almost like unconsciously. I mean, things are just happening and then they are just being swept. So sometimes good things happen, sometimes so good things happen. Okay, so because of that, the carrier, they may be happy with it, or sometimes they may not be happy with it. And I observe that many of the executives are having trouble midway during the career or somewhere. Suddenly there is a break. Okay, it's almost like you putting the handbrake on your car. It's not a normal brake. It can happen because you are frustrated with what's happening around you, or in some cases, I think your company or your boss may be frustrated about what is happening, and then that sort of situation comes where you are just suddenly put in the handbrake. So my intention of today's seminar is to nudge you towards taking serious steps towards managing your career more actively. Okay. I think slowly those days are going where you just do good work and then your boss takes care of everything. Okay. Um, I think those days are gone. Now the change is happening much faster. You need to manage your career carefully. Otherwise, you may land up in situations where that sort of a handbrake situation can come in. Okay, we don't want that, isn't it? Either initiated by us or by others. We don't want that handbrake situation. We want our career to progress in a smooth manner. So, yeah, I think I more or less covered why this topic in what I spoke so far. Change is happening too fast, and then most of the executives, or many of the executives whom I see, are slow to grasp the change and then adapt the change. So that's the trouble that we are dealing with. Uh, so going to the next slide. Now, today's, whatever I'm going to suggest to you, okay, this is not really a prescription. This is my experience that I'm sharing with you. If it's useful, you will use it, I'm sure. So what I'm saying is we need to approach our career in 4 steps at least. Uh, Plan, learn, grow, and then review, and then again plan. Okay, so those who are familiar with PDCA cycle, it's something like that, but not exactly. Um, I will cover each of these steps in a few slides, and we can discuss whether I mean, during the breaks, I think, as I said, you can put your questions and I can try to answer those questions. If it had been face-to-face meeting, I think we would have had more opportunity for interaction. The online format puts some restrictions, but we will try to make the most of it. So, by the way, now, like I said earlier, you can always um, put questions throughout the presentation. You need not ask questions only when I finish one particular this one, because you can simply write it in the chat box and my colleagues will be monitoring that. Okay, so now, yeah, I think talking about 1 second. Yeah, the plan part of it. What I mean by plan is that we need to plan our career, obviously. I think some of us do it very well. I've seen executives who do the planning very nicely, but there are a majority of the executives that I have seen. I think there is no big plan. Okay. when you suddenly need a job, you start looking out and then start reaching out to the people that you know. And that may not be really the right time, because if whatever you need to get this type of job, if you're not getting, slowly you can enter into a panic situation, and then many times you take wrong decisions in that situation as to what type of company you want to enter and so on. So first of all, as part of planning, I'm saying you need to understand yourself first. Okay, what is that you like? What is that you don't like? What type of a work you like? Okay, yes, all of us have to earn money for our family, so we will enter into any job sometimes. Okay, but as part of planning, you should try to spend some time to look at what is that actually you like and what is that you are suitable for. Okay, what type of a work really makes you get up in the morning and run to the office. Okay, so many of you, as I've seen, I think you're all people who are with experience more than 10 to 15 years. Okay, so you are all already having a career, and then you are midway through your career, or maybe somewhat entering the last phase also. So even for you, I'm saying you should look at trying to understand what is that you like and what is that you don't like. You have a lot of experience. People who are less than 5 years experience and all, you can look at whatever time that you worked, what is that which interested you? What type of a work when you were doing, you were really thrilled, and then some extra energy came out of you. There are some psychometric tools also to use for this. Okay, if it is students, it is very easily available. Many psychometric tools. It will tell you as to what type of a work you are suitable for and all that. But if it is for understanding yourself, many psychometric tools are available to understand yourself. It's not really where you will be suitable. That psychometric tool may not tell, but what are the strengths that you have, or what are the, I mean, how do you understand yourself? That's what a psychometric tool can help you to do. Okay, so I'm saying as a first step in the planning, try to understand what you want really, because many times I've seen executives just going through their career without looking at whether they like the job or not. And then finally, what will happen is you join the job and it doesn't um, go well with you. And then very quickly you start looking at, okay, how do I change this job? Okay. So second step is I'm saying diagnose your current status. Okay. Most of you, as I said, are already having experience. So if you are having experience, then you should definitely know as to where you have done well, and then where you are not done well. Okay. So that I think you should try to review, and what are your interests you should understand, and then what are your skills. If you have worked for some time, then you should be knowing as to what your skills are. The time I think is changing now. Most of the companies are really looking for people with some good skills. Gone are the days where we just take our experience to the job and then we are able to do a fantastic job. Okay. You need to have some skills. For example, I think now there is so much of a technology that has come in. Now you need to have some what do you call aptitude for technology. Okay. So what I'm saying is you need to identify your skills. Most of the people that I've met, I think they don't even know as to what their skills are. Okay, so please try to solve that problem uh, by looking at what is that you really have, what skills you have, which area you want to go, and then in that area, do you have the skills? And it is useful for people to take the help of a coach wherever you think it can help, because even to understand yourself, I think you may require sometimes the help of others. Okay. You can also take the help of colleagues around you. Okay, there may be some people who are with whom you are close. You can take their help in understanding your skills, because many times we may not be really knowing what our skills are. Okay, so this diagnosing the current status is a very important one. As a part of this, I would strongly suggest don't try to do it alone, because what you know about yourself is only part of the information. Please believe me. Okay, there is no one who knows everything about himself or herself. So you please take the views of the others. If your boss is a friendly guy or lady, I think you can take your boss help in understanding your skills and then the areas for development. Then going to the next one, now you also need to look at where you want to go, isn't it? So, especially after having traveled for some time in your career, you may want to know as to where you want to go. What is the position, or what is the company that you want to go, or what are the areas of improvement that you have. Again, here, I think you should take the help of others, your friends and your colleagues, and so on and so forth. And some people, I think, not some people, I think many of the people that I met have this, what do you call, urge to do something on their own. They feel that after some people, they do it straight away off the college. When they finish the course, they are very clear saying, no, I want to do something on my own. Okay. I would say these are the lucky people. Okay. Because, see, I have gone on my own in the last 12 and a half years. I'm on my own. So when I was 48, I took a call that I want to do something on my own. And let me tell you that my own experience of going on my own, it's been fantastic. And I only wish saying that I would have taken this decision many more years before. Then I would have planned my work in a much better manner. And then probably I would have done some much bigger things also. Okay, because I can show excuses, I can say excuses, but going on your own, the single biggest thing that you need to have is a risk-taking appetite. Okay, that's the biggest one. Many people say, no, no, I don't have money, because of that I'm not entering, or I have responsibilities, because of that I'm not entering on my own. You have several excuses. But having seen it for last about 12 and a half years, what I feel is the main reason why people hesitate to go on their own is because they don't have that risk-taking appetite. Okay, that's what is the difference between a professional and an entrepreneur. And let me tell you, that's a huge thing. Taking risk is a very huge thing. So all of us can have some healthy respect for our bosses. Okay, because the people who have set up the companies, definitely you can have a lot of respect for them, because they have taken that call, they have taken that step, and then they're making it happen, isn't it? We can say saying, okay, this guy doesn't know how to do this, how to do that, and so on and so forth. But he has taken that risk. He is running a business, and he is successful at his own level. So that's a huge thing. So please decide where you want to go. Okay. So what I'm saying is, I have taken the call at 48. Okay, so I already would have put many years of service by that time, but I still believe that at least 50% of my career, I'm good to work for another 15 years at least. So I would have spent 50% in job, 50% in on my own. So still, I'm not bad, I would say. Okay, so there are many people out there who never dared to take that call. So please decide where you want to go, what type of a job you want to do, or you want to go on your own, and so on. Identify the areas for improvement. And like I said here, please take active participation from people around you. Never do this on your own. If you do it on your own, please believe me, it will be only part of the story. Okay, so then again, as a part of plan, please look at what barriers that you do you expect. Okay, see, actually, the purpose of planning, I think this is planning is something which is misunderstood in many companies and many people. Okay, Purpose of plan is not to just put some number there. Okay, if you in your company, if you're doing planning, if you say that I want to achieve 500 crores next year, that's not plan. That's your hope. Okay, that's your hope, saying that okay, you may achieve 500 crores. Okay, I wish good luck for that. But plan is something where you have to look at what trouble you expect, what barriers you expect, and then you have to prepare for addressing those barriers. Without this, I think it's not plan. Okay, if you just say thing that okay, I would like to go to US and then join a fantastic company there, that's your hope. Okay. But if you want to really make it a plan, then you have to get into details and then assess your current situation, like the previous slide I said, and then decide how you're going to go there. Okay. The place that you want to go. And what are the problems that you expect? It is something like a failure mode analysis that manufacturing guys are familiar with. Okay. So you need to make a failure mode analysis and then prepare yourself for that. Don't be surprised suddenly saying, look, oh my God, I have this problem, I have that problem. Okay. Problems will come. Okay. And also, please look at this. Are you having self-confidence to go to, I mean, to reach the place where you want to go? This is something that you should assess in a very clear manner, and then don't get attached to yourself and say that, no, no, I'm doing everything right. Okay. There are many times when we lack self-confidence. I'm especially in terms of, I had this problem many times in my career when I wanted to go on my own. Many times it came to my mind, and then I was almost about to push the switch, no confidence. So again, I walked back. Okay, this happened many times in my career. And finally, I could do that when I was 48 years old. Okay. So as I said earlier, I wish I would have taken that call when I was maybe 30, 35. Okay. So please look at this. How do you know whether you have self-confidence or not? Okay. If you are very self-critical, you can know. Okay, but many of us may not know whether we have, or we may just say that, no, I have self-confidence. There is no question about that. Okay, I am a very confident person. So again, here what I'm saying is please take the feedback from the people around you. Okay. Okay, again, I said many times saying that you should take feedback from the people around you, but be careful. There is a particular way in which feedback has to be given and taken. Okay. Otherwise, what happens is, let's say you go to your friend, he's a very good friend of yours, and then you ask him, okay, boss, give me feedback. How am I? Give me my strengths. And if that guy doesn't know how to give feedback, he may just give it on your face. Okay. And you may not like it. 5 minutes into the conversation, both of you may start arguing. Okay, that's not feedback. That's not a feedback session. So you need to learn how to take feedback and how to give feedback also. Otherwise, it can be damaging. Sometimes someone out of their good intentions, okay, they may give you a feedback, okay, but you may not like it, okay, and they may not know how to give it, so they may hurt you and that can create more damage. Okay. So please look at this. Do you have self-confidence to reach there? If you don't have self-confidence, it is addressable. See, when you don't have self-confidence, see, I'll give you an example. There was a managing director in one company. This guy, I mean, there were manufacturing guys who were taking a certain papers for approval to him. This was about writing up some inventories. So the managing director will look at that paper and will say that, okay, you keep it here and go. And then it will lie on the table for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. Then again, the team comes back. They'll say that, oh, I didn't get time to see this. Okay, so you leave it there. Definitely, I'll see it. Like that, it went on for almost about 1.5 months. Then I was consulting with this company. So those guys, they told me, saying that, sir, some of the decisions like this decision never comes. What do we do? I said, fine, let's talk to your MD as to what's the problem. Then when I spoke to him, I understood saying that, okay, he needs more detail. Actually, he was not clear. When I asked him, why are you not clearing this paper as an example? Okay. He said he had to think for some time to understand why he's not clearing. Then slowly he said, sir, I'm not confident of this process, what is happening. Okay, these guys every now and then they keep coming up with this, but I don't have the confidence. I said, then fine. You write down as to what are the things that you need, what data you require, what commitment you require from people. Ask for that specifically, and then they gave the detail, they gave that commitment, and that's it. I think he was satisfied, and then he approved it. So if you don't have self-confidence, that means something is missing. Okay. Normally, all of us as human beings, we are very strong people. We may not be strong or we may not be confident in a particular situation if something is lacking, some details are lacking. Maybe you don't have a particular qualification, that's why you're not confident, or you may not have certain communication skills. So because of that, you may think that, okay, no, I want to achieve this, I want to be a general manager, but okay, maybe I won't go there. Okay, so try to identify what is that root cause because of which you are not able to have this self-confidence. Again, taking feedback from others helps, but again, I would repeat that you please learn how to take feedback. Okay, so this way you try to plan. Okay, so we'll just quickly go over once again what's the plan that I spoke about. I said you should understand yourself. Okay, you should use some psychometric tools if required, and then feedback from people around you, but you should understand yourself. And then I said you should diagnose the current status as to how it is, how the career has gone on so far, what you have achieved, and what skills you have. And don't kick yourself with the things that you have not done. There will always be things that we have not done. Okay, so don't worry about that. But you look at what you have achieved, and then what are the skills that you have, and take the help of a coach as required. And then I said, decide where you want to go and what are the improvements that you want to make, and whether you want to go on your own. And then I said, what are the barriers you expect, and whether you have confidence to go there is something that you should assess. Okay, so at this stage, I would pause for a minute and see whether are there any questions. I think I see a lot of good mornings in the chat, but there's no questions. Does anyone have question on how to plan? If you have a question, you can write it in the chat box or raise your hand. Nobody has any question means I am a great professor. Sriram Venkatapati raised a hand. I think um, Sriram, you can unmute yourself now.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Sriram.
Yeah. The question is, so I have a passion and interest in doing something. Whether it is liked by or it is the customers are there to take my passion. How?
Sorry, Sriram, I
Some
didn't understand.
services,
You have a passion to do something, okay?
correct. But I need to have the same thing. The market availability, demand also needs to be there for that fashionable work in me, no, sir.
Definitely. I think without that, we won't get job, okay? But if it is something, your interest is something that is so rare, okay? Believe me, I think whatever interests that we are talking about, I don't think there is anything rare, Sriram. Okay. If you are not able to see, then you are not seeing hard enough. Okay. Because I know very well the area that you are working in, because I know you, there is a lot of demand for that. In fact, in every area there is a lot of demand, but the point that I'm trying to make is there is demand in every area. But if we are limiting ourselves to, we may, because of our own constraint, we may say that, okay, it should be in this area, in this geographical area and so on. Then demand can get limited. But otherwise, my feeling, I think it is enough demand is there around. You have to look hard.
Understood, sir.
You understand what I'm saying, Sriram?
Yeah. Got it, sir.
Mhm. So demand is always there, my dear friend. Actually,
Yes, sir. I'm not specifically talking about my this TQM, this one, sir. Suppose
yes.
if in earlier days, many fashionable work like stamp collection, like that sort of works and all was there. But nowadays, all those fashions work will not get demand from the market. So that's what I have a
No, no,
confusion
no.
I want to explain.
No, definitely there is demand in every area. See, what I see is, see, I keep going to many companies, no? So I can see this one very clearly. There are many people who are looking for good job. Okay, that you have many people who are looking for good job. But on the other side, you also have companies who are suffering because they are not having good people. I see so many companies, or let me say, every company that I go for is suffering because they don't have good people in one area or the other. Every company, believe me.
Okay,
So
sir.
actually, I was tempted many times saying that, okay, should I get into the business of doing this matchmaking? Because I see so many people who are looking for good people, looking for a job, good companies who are looking for people. Okay, and meeting is not happening. Mhm. Okay,
Understood,
so
sir. Thank you.
yes, Sriram. I'll go for the next question. Monish has written down a question in the chat box. He says, "Can you give me an example of psychometric tools?" I think there are many tools, Monish. There is a simple tool called 24 character strengths of VIA. VIA. I don't remember what is VIA. VIA 24 character strengths, and there is one tool that will help you to understand what are your strengths and what are your developmental areas. But there are many more psychometric tools, so you can message me. I'll help you to identify more. Okay. And Surendra Bilguni has asked one question. What type of additional skills we need to keep on adding in our career growth? Please share a few examples. Surendra, I will be covering that in this learn section. I'll be talking about many other skills that are required because mostly we look at only job. We are not looking at anything else. So there are other skills. I will be covering that, Surendra. And I can see Mohanlal has raised his hand. Vignesh, can you?
Hi there. Good
Mohanlal,
morning.
yes, Mohan.
Yeah, thanks for organizing this call. It's great to have a call like this. In fact, it is an interactive session. That's why I look upon. I come up with around 20 years of industrial experience. But what I see always is like we are all bound to be an employee many a times. When you want to become an employer, when is that decision? Because like see, we all are depending upon the monthly income for our livelihood. So the risk factor, what we are trying to go as an employer is whether we will be able to get this regular income. One is the investment required for the business, and at the same time, the dependability of the family on our daily or monthly income, what we are earning. So this is always a question mark. Like, what is the minimum amount you have to save and you start in a business? That becomes a big question mark. Like, yes, I'm good enough to start a business. With what background? I ask this question many a time to myself, like whether we are okay to start up now, or whether we'll fail. If fail, what is the next plan B to recover? Because you take a gap, then you try to get into an employee mode. That's a different scenario itself. Once again, being an employer, then
I
so
understand. I understand what you're asking. I think that's what I said. Money are I mean, most of us, we think saying that money is the most important, or we need to have 10 lakhs, we need to have 15 lakhs or something. Definitely, money is important because when you go off the job, I think you need to have some amount of a withstanding power. No two ways about that. Okay, but the bigger issue I would say is, see, you can always choose a method by which, see, how I have done is, I have become a consultant. See, I was in a job, then I became a consultant. So for consultancy, what I need to do before I resigned, I already took the permission of my boss. My boss also helped me. I went around and then identified a few companies. So sometimes boss may help, sometimes boss may not help. Okay, so I went around and looked for a job and then created one step for myself. So there were 2 or 3 companies who are willing to engage me. Okay. So
Okay.
there is some amount of money which is assured for it. So then later on, what I've done is I've taken up some initiatives which require some investment of time and money later on. That is after I've settled down like a consultant for a couple of years, then slowly. So consultant is what here? I mean, it is nothing but it's an extended job, yeah. It's just a
Correct.
job. Yeah.
Right.
You are doing for one company when you're in a employment. As a consultant, you go to 5 companies. Okay. So that's all is the difference. So then I started doing something, let's say like we started developing e-learning. Then I taken few colleagues, okay, within my team. Okay. So then I started doing leadership. So step by step, I created steps which did not create any huge impact for me back home. Okay. So like that, it is possible. But that the risk-taking appetite, no, that is not there for most of the employees. That's the difference between an employee and entrepreneur. Okay. So we have to make it happen. You are making it happen, so many things for your company. Here you have to make it happen for yourself. Okay. So that risk-taking ability is more lacking than anything else. Okay. So think about it. You can, if you want some more discussion, you can connect to me offline. We can talk about it. Not a problem. Okay.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah. In fact, I also came up with the same thought of a consultant because I'm having around 20 years of industrial experience. I can put more value rather to into only one company rather supporting many companies. I come up with the industrial automation. So
Right.
industrial automation and robotics. So I'm just looking in that aspect. So, yeah.
Surely, surely. How to make that as a success is another subject. Okay, we can talk about it. It will take a long time, but we will talk about it more. You can connect to me, not an issue. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Great. So let's move to the next step. That is, so we have planned, we have assessed our situation, and we said where we want to go and so on. Now we have to learn towards our goals. Okay, because today there is so much information available on the line, online. You can just go on going through some videos and this, you can feel it is very useful to you and so on and so forth. But and you can spend all of your time into that and still you may not learn towards your goals. So you have to be very careful about your time and then say that what are your goals and then how do I learn towards my goals. That's very important. Okay, so one is the formal learning. Okay, all of us know that. Okay, I have done my MBA after working for approximately 15 years. One of the company that I worked for, they sponsored me. So I've done an MBA while working. It was fantastic because 3 years part-time MBA, specializing in strategy. And that was a fantastic learning. Okay, so you can do extra qualifications, no two ways about that. Even my basic qualification, the CMA that I have done, I am a cost and management accountant. Even that I have finished only while working, because I was lazy to finish it before. Anyway, so the other thing is online and offline is the options that you have. All of you know very well. If you don't know, I think please go to LinkedIn Learning and then see as to how many you have. Or Coursera, you have so many learning opportunities. There is no shortage. And then on just about every topic. So think about some formal learning if it helps you, if it fits with your goals. Again, as I said, don't do some. See, I know one of my ex-colleague who has done something like about 17 or 18 qualifications. Now, that is something which is abnormal and then it is not required according to me. So we are not looking at going on adding degrees like that. That doesn't help in any way. Okay. So what you need to look at is, okay, what are the real qualification that you require? Okay, what is that which will help you? You think if you have a better qualification, some of us would have done some diploma or something and then would have progressed in our career. You want to do something, maybe a engineering degree. Okay. If it helps you, by all means, I think you should plan. So first option is the formal learning. You should try to look at what you want to do. And then this is something which many of us may not be even aware or may not be even thought about, saying that we can take the help of a coach or a mentor. See, if there is a senior person around you, okay, someone, maybe your ex-boss or a current boss, somebody who is really helping you and so on and so forth. Now you should look at how to use that help. Okay. Now you can talk to him in a structured way and then try to understand as to what are the options available to you and then how you can grow. See, in some professions, this mentorship is much more prominent. For example, doctors. In case of doctors, a senior doctor mentors junior doctors. My daughter is a doctor, so I know that quite well. So if somebody, so she has a mentor where she is working right now, she has a mentor. Now that senior doctor advises her as to how to plan her career, which further institutes she can go and study. My daughter is doing a post-graduation. So she suggests to her on fellowship as to what fellowship she can do. And then she introduces her to the concerned people. Okay. So in some professions, this mentorship is very much evolved. But in many professions, it is not evolved. So there may be some senior person, but how to use that person, you should know that. Okay. And that person also may not know how to help. So you have to initiate it, obviously, because you are the mentee, but you should take the help in a structured manner. Then the mentor role can be a very important role for you. Do you have a mentor? Please think about it. If you don't have a mentor, seek a mentor. Okay, or a coach. Coach is someone, what is the difference? Coach and mentor. Coach is someone who will guide you. You have to pick up your choices. He won't tell you saying that, okay, this is what it is. Because let's say if now I am coaching, for example, I'm coaching Mohanlal. Okay, now Mohanlal is not known to me. Now I can't tell him saying that, Mohan, you just take this path. Even if I tell, Mohan may not take it because he doesn't know me so much. Whereas if you go to someone who is experienced and then whom you know for a long time, you respect that person and so on, you may just do something because he's telling you. So that is the difference between a mentor and coach. A coach is a person who doesn't tell you what to do, but he will show you various options and then help you to pick up the right option from there. So decision will be more your decision rather than the coach decision. So even this taking coaching, I think, see, I'm a trained coach, by the way. Okay, I am right now coaching two very senior people. Okay, one person in JSW Steel who is at a vice president level. I think that guy controls production worth something like about 35-40,000 crores. Okay, and another company where this person is again a operations person, okay, who is at a very senior level. And I have coached a lot of entrepreneurs and so on. So in this, what is the premise is that a coach doesn't prescribe. A coach helps you to bring out your capabilities. Okay. So many companies are engaging coaches and then they are helping their senior people. Okay, if your company is not doing it, you can always ask your company, request your company to do that, or you can take the help of a coach or a mentor on your own. Okay, but please believe me, I think in the current situations, taking a help like this is always useful. Okay, so that's the second step I'm saying. And then third one is I'm pointing out LinkedIn specifically. You have several social medias, but I'm very much pointing at about LinkedIn. You should become very prominent on LinkedIn. Now, if you are a very good communicator, you may be prominent within your company, but that's not enough. Okay, you need to become prominent on LinkedIn. How do you become prominent? You should network. You should try to become friends with the companies that you are interested in. the executives who are working in those companies. You can write articles about your the areas that you like. Okay, there is no good article, bad article. You start writing, you'll go on improving. Okay, and again, have someone to give you feedback so that you know, so that okay, this guy is telling me, giving me this feedback, so I need to improve. And there are groups in LinkedIn. Please participate in those groups. There are many times I think LinkedIn is asking questions and asking for collaborative articles. They call it. They ask questions, so you answer questions. Okay. Sometimes LinkedIn sends you a prompt, but even if LinkedIn is not sending you a prompt, you go look at the LinkedIn. You look at a collaborative article. You start contributing. Then LinkedIn will pick you up. Okay. Then they will start asking you questions. Okay, post your video. Okay, making a video is something which will really raise your self-confidence. Okay, please try that. Whatever topic that you are clear about. See, what is required is when you are trying to present a topic, when you are trying to put a video, you have to be clear about that topic. So what you do, you first think about it and then you write it down. So you get the output from the video even before you post it online, because you have spent that time thinking about the topic, and then a clarity should come in your mind. Then only you can prepare a video. Otherwise, if I just prepare a video where I'm just talking something, nobody will look at that video, isn't it? Okay, nobody will get any output from that. Okay, so you have to get noticed on LinkedIn. This is something which is very much required. You cannot ignore this. Okay, but sadly, what I've seen is still out of the executives that I meet, probably 10% of the people may be active on LinkedIn. 90% are not active. Why? I'm dedicated to my company. I'm killing myself for my company. And when something happens and when the handbrake situation comes, suddenly you find yourself saying, oh my God, where am I? Okay, I don't know anybody. Okay, who is this guy? Who is that guy? Okay, that company is having a vacancy. I don't know anybody in that company. And the desperation sets in. Okay, so LinkedIn is a fantastic platform for you. Okay, where you can become very active, and then if your company doesn't allow you to write about your company, don't write about your company. Write about your profession. Nobody can stop you from that. You can become a star on LinkedIn. Nobody can stop you from that. So if you become a good LinkedIn personality, then people will be noticing you. You may not want to change your job. I'm not suggesting for a minute to keep on jumping jobs. No. I like people who work for a company for a very long time. But you work for the company and you should not regret it. Please make sure of that. If you are working for your company, you are growing, you are happy, your company is happy, fantastic. See, I know a company in Coimbatore, which is a slightly different type of company, I would say. In that company, the managing director and the senior people, they don't, especially the managing director and the joint managing director, they don't chase their employees about targets. The managing director doesn't even ask what's the sales last month. He may go through some report, but he will never ask anyone. And he's not going to ask saying that next month, how much sales are you going to do? Never. So in that company, what happens is there is no pressure from the top. By the way, now this company, it's been growing at about 10 to 12% for last about 15 to 20 years. Even though managing director doesn't ask, it keeps growing. So it's not required saying that managing director has to really shout his head up and then make sure that, okay, everybody is working hard and all that. They will work hard only if you let them work hard. So this company believes in that. So in this company, what happens is the salary levels are little, average is a little bit lower than market. People are happy with what they are doing. Okay. Most of them have built their houses and all that, but salaries are not like mad salaries, Okay. And everybody is happy. Now you look at this employees in this company. Now you can say saying that no, they're not ambitious. They're not going for bigger jobs, bigger companies and all. But what's the purpose of all your work? To be happy, build a house and lead a happy life, isn't it? These guys are doing it. Okay. So what I'm saying is you need to make sure saying that, okay, what are your interests? And then make sure you are going towards interests. Your interest may be, I'll stay in this company and then I'm happy with my boss and I'm supporting my boss. Fantastic. The objective of your life is to be happy, not to become the vice president somewhere. And the next thing I'm saying is please learn soft skills. This is where I think earlier one of you asked for a question that you wanted to know as to what are the different skills that you need to learn. Okay, most of the time we learn the functional skills, that is skills related to your job. If you are a sales guy, you may go to a course, sales course, and then you may try to learn about how to sell. That's a functional skill. Okay, but what type of a leadership that you should give, or what type of a leadership you are giving. Okay, understanding that and building on those skills. Those are soft skills. So some examples of soft skills are: you need to be growth oriented. You need to have assertiveness. You should be an assertive leader, not a passive leader, not an aggressive leader. Okay. You need to be adapting a collaborative approach in the company. These are all soft skills. I can give you many more examples. Okay. You need to learn them. Whether you know them or not, you are using them or not using them in your job. Either you are succeeding or failing because of these soft skills. So might as well become more aware of them, because some companies are doing the soft skill training, many companies are not doing. Okay, so you need to equip yourself, whether your company does it or not. You have to see, when a company does a training program, what happens? They will do a training program and generally keeping in a large number of people in mind, not keeping you in mind. Okay, but you should improve your own soft skills. But by the way, this is another thing where Indian Manufacturing Academy, we can help you. Okay, we can work out a development plan individually for you, and then we can try to cover those gaps, whatever you. So here you have to take feedback, okay, about what's your leadership style and so on, and understand the gaps, and then we need to decide which are the skills that will benefit you, because there are a huge number of skills in the world, whether you want to learn all of them, whether you want to focus on some of them. Okay, and then participate in industry bodies. Okay, there is CI, there is FICCI, there is ASSOCHAM, there may be many more industry association that you know of. This gives an entirely different experience. If your company allows you to do that, please go and participate in these industry bodies. You can contribute, you can collaborate with other company executives. You can look at the industry from a different perspective. Okay, you are working in a company, that is one perspective. But when you look at the industry, totally different perspective will come. I served as a deputy chair for the manufacturing committee of Tamil Nadu in 2009-10 for about 1.5 to 2 years. I participated actively. I conducted some what do you call international seminars. So that gave entirely a different experience for me. So which is actually useful for me when I'm doing my work on my own. So the next learning point is learn technology. All of you know very well, today the technology is taking off in a absolutely like a vertical manner. It's taking off. So you need to learn about Industry 4.0. You need to learn about artificial intelligence and so on. Learn basics. Don't get overawed by this AI talk. Okay, AI is something which you can understand quite easily. There's no mystery in that. Okay, we have been doing forecasting or extrapolation. Somebody who knows statistics will know that extrapolation is something which is a very old technique. AI is doing extrapolation at a much larger scale, to put it very simply. I'm sure it's doing much more, but we can learn about it in step by step. But please find ways and means to learn about technology. We have some basic courses in Indian Manufacturing Academy about Industry 4.0 and all. We have these e-learning programs which you can go through online, and then if you want, we can have some face-to-face sessions also. Okay, so please equip yourself, and then when your company starts implementing AI and machine learning and Industry 4.0 and so on, you should be at least ready. saying, yes, I know something about it. You should be able to make a good conversation. And then I'm sure you will be able to get into some important projects, and then you'll be one of those people who will be one of those people who is, who is going to, what do you call, uh, participate in a project and then execute it. Because right now, if you look at it, there are not many people who are having that. Okay, so that's about learning technology. And then I'm saying um, the other one is to learn the right internet tools. Earlier, I said you have to learn towards your objectives, because if you are not learning to your objectives, you may be wasting a lot of time. So please look at, see, we have our own management tool desk. One YouTube channel is there, MTD8 MTD 1207. Okay. So you try to search for that and subscribe. There are a lot of topics that you can resonate with. They're available, and then you can, and we keep posting at least a couple of videos every week. We are going to increase it to almost 5 or 6 videos very shortly. So you can subscribe to that. And we also have, there are a lot of podcasts which are available, and then there are TED Talks and so on. Please try to choose the tools carefully. That's what is my message. If you need some help in trying to find out the right tools, you can write to me. I will help you to find whatever I know I can suggest. So I think though that is about learning. I think this is by far the biggest this one. Shall we have some questions now? If someone has a question, you can ask a question. Otherwise, we can go to the next stage. I'm looking in the chat box, but if someone wants to ask a question, you can raise the question. And Mohan Lal has raised the hand. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
With respect to learning, I have an interest question. I take up this Swayam and NPTEL by IIT. In fact, I had completed around 5 courses from IIT, certified courses. But what I see is, maybe I'm not downgrading it. What I see is the efforts I take to really get into the subjects and then go write the exam. And in fact, I registered for 12 exams. I couldn't find time. I wrote only 4 exams. I could clear all the 4 exams, but not much of the effort. What I see is like, with the experience, whatever we have gained, we are able to still clear those certified exams, all those things. I see the knowledge what we gain. Maybe I'm not effectively utilizing also. It may be one of the reason, but at the same time, I'm seeing that uh, it is not making a big impact on the learning whatever we are trying to do. How do you see this? Like, okay, online courses especially. How do you see the efforts? Because finally, end of the day, the time you spend is all about. It's not getting registered or not knowing it, but end of the day, how much time you are able to spend on it. So there, I find there is a lack now. How do you see that we can bring down this gap?
Yeah. What I understand is you are saying the effectiveness of those courses, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Whether you're able to use them and so on. So that's where I said, see, you need to decide very clearly what are your career objectives, what is that you want to do in the next 3 years. Okay. So then you do courses which will help only in that. Don't do any other course. Okay. Because we have limited time. We will not be able to what do you call, do many courses. So that is one point. And then choose the question, choose the courses in such a way that they are practically oriented. For example, I have done a MBA, I told you, after 15 years of putting in service, I have done an MBA which was sponsored by my company. So, in that, what I have done is I have chosen an MBA which is absolutely practical. Okay. So I could apply everything to my work. So that's how I think I was able to and I got benefited by from that course in a very big way. So that's what I can suggest. Yes, sir. Any other questions? Mohan, again, if you want anything more, we can always talk offline. Okay. Any other questions, anybody? Okay, fine. So let's go to the next stage. That is growing. We have planned and we have learned. We planned where we want to go. We have learned towards those goals. And then now we are talking about actually implementing these plans and growing. Okay. So while growing, I would say one of the very important things is you have to manage your boss. I don't mean managing your boss doesn't mean um, getting his tea every day morning, okay, and then telling him how great he is. I'm not talking about that. I think we need to have a good professional relationship with the boss. Many of us think saying that I just work. Boss has to look at me. He has to recognize everything. I'm not going to put any effort in managing anything. Okay, why should I do it? I'm just working. I'm a sincere worker. This is generally the thinking of many of the executives. Okay, but I'm saying please look at it differently. Please try to manage the relationship with your boss. Try to understand the boundaries that he would have put. Okay, any boss, I think he will get insecure if you are touching those boundaries. Okay, and try to understand his mind as to what he is expecting and so on. If you want to convince him on something, you are most welcome to do that. You need not agree with everything that he asks. Okay, you can convince him, but don't leave points which are unanswered and then not matching with each other. Those things I think you should try to avoid. Otherwise, what happens is those small misunderstandings and so on, they can grow into some big issues later on, and then you can have some trouble later on, some surprises from your side or from your boss side. Okay, and then communication is the most important one here with your boss. The more you communicate, the better it is. Okay, then the next one is the communication. Okay, so I'm saying within your organization, be a great communicator. Okay, again, another thing which I notice is similar to what I explained earlier. People think saying that I just work. Everybody, my boss has to notice, my colleagues have to notice I'm working so sincerely. If they don't notice, then they are bad people. Okay. I think we'll have to go beyond that. Now the organizations are becoming big, and then nobody may have time to look at your achievements in particular. So you have to communicate about your achievements, not bragging about them, but in a formal manner, maybe a report that you can submit to your boss once in a month or once in a month or so. And another thing is, if your peers in other departments, if they are working well, if they have done something well, appreciate their good work. Okay, that's another thing that you can always do. By doing this, you get noticed. You get noticed as a leader. Okay. And then if there are some important meetings, please take out time, prepare well, make sure you make a good impact in that meeting. It's not just to get some brownie points from your boss, but it is to address that subject in a the best possible manner, isn't it? You would like to make sure that if there is a project that is going on, you would like to contribute maximum to this project. Now, how can you do that? Or how can you make sure that you are impacting the other colleagues in the project very well during these project review meetings and so on? Okay, take up a point and then go deep into that, present some new insights to your team. You do that, then you start getting noticed. So how do you grow? You grow by understanding your boss and then going in the direction together along with you. He should come along with him. You should go. And by being a good communicator, you will make sure that you are recognizing others' work and making sure that others recognize your work. Okay. And the next topic about being growing is you have to be a good collaborator. See, there are many people that I've seen who are good performers, but these people, they go on fighting with the other departments. Okay. So this person is a very good, very high when capability is there for that guy, but he always goes on fighting with the other department people. Now, this type of person, even if he's an excellent person, he is a pain to the boss. Because what is required, boss will have to sit in judgment every time. Every time you create a problem, your boss will have to come in and then solve the problem. No boss likes it, please believe me. I've seen people who are fantastic people, vice president level, who are contributing to the company in a very big way. But what happened is this guy cannot get along with anyone else. He fights with everybody around him. Okay, so these people, I have seen them. The growth has stopped. They didn't understand why the growth has stopped because they feel that they are working excellently. They're contributing in a big way. Why am I not getting promoted? Why am I not becoming a president? Or why am I not becoming a vice president? Whatever. The reason is the bosses like or the companies like people who can coordinate very well with others. And if you are able to coordinate very well with others and then you are able to get good output from that collaboration, boss may look at you as a candidate for the next promotion because you are able to do his job. So I think all the great performers out there will have to be careful in recognizing this, that it is not enough for you to perform. You have to be a good collaborator in your company. And next one is the final action in growing is, of course, to take action. There are many people who prepare plans. First of all, there are not many who don't prepare, who prepare plan. Maybe there are 5 or 10% of the people who prepare plans. And even in this, the people who really execute the plan are much lesser. If 10% of the executives are doing the planning, out of the 10%, maybe another 10%, only they may be really implementing the plans. Most of them, they don't implement plans, okay, because again, the common reason, I am busy with my work, I am dedicated to my company, I can't do anything else. This is one biggest reason for people not growing properly, okay. You should be dedicated, you should do some good work and so on, but you have to take out time for your own, what do you call, axe sharpening. Okay, you know the story of a woodcutter who goes to the forest to cut the trees and then bring the wood. So this guy had been doing it for so long that his axe has got blunt. But whenever someone asks him saying that, okay, why don't you sharpen the axe? He says, I don't have time. So he goes to the forest and then probably he will get output 1/10 of what he's supposed to get. If he sharpens the axe, he can get much more output, but he doesn't have time to sharpen the axe. So it goes on and on. Okay, so please sharpen your axe from time to time and make sure that. So this taking action is something you have to do it by allotting some time for that, for time for yourself, for time for your family, isn't it? You are the hero for your family, earning money for the family and so on. If you don't have time for improving your own skills, then how can your family go forward? So that's the last step in growing. Maybe I'll review is a small one. I'll finish this also, and then we can take questions anymore if they are there. And when I say review, this is the fourth step. So we are planned, we are learned, we are growing. And then from time to time, I'm saying we need to review. This career plan has to be reviewed at least once in 6 months. Okay. Now you should use a career plan book. Okay, we are trying to put together a career plan book. If any of you want a career plan book, please write to us. Okay, we will talk about it separately. But you should have a career plan book, and then you should write it down. Make sure you are learning. Make sure you are growing, and make sure you are reviewing this plan. This review also, it will be fantastic if you can collaborate with one of your friends. Let's say 2 or 3 of your friends, close friends, you review your plan together. There can be some very good learnings. Okay, there can be some excellent learnings if you review it together. Because, like I said, always you can't look at yourself completely. You will know only 50% of what you are. Others will tell the balance of it. So review it, look at what you're doing well, what you're not doing well, and then decide what course corrections that you want to do. Okay. And one of the important things that you should look at is you should update your own understanding of yourself. Okay. Now, earlier we said, most of us, we don't know what we really want. We are busy running, and we really don't know what we want. So please look at what you want, improve your own understanding about yourself. Again, like I said, you can take the help of coaches and so on in making this happen, because it involves taking feedback, giving you feedback and stuff like that. So I think spending some time on this review once in 6 months will give you a lot of learnings. Okay. And when you review, of course, you have to adjust the goals. Okay. Sometimes you may revise the goals upwards, sometimes you may revise the goals downwards, but you need to have goals which you can achieve. Don't have goals which is so far away in the sky that it just doesn't motivate you. Only a goal which you can reach will motivate you. Otherwise, the goal which you feel you cannot reach will not motivate you. So it's always important to have the right tightness in the goal. If it is very simple goal, silly goal, it doesn't motivate you. If it is something which is very high in the sky, okay, even that doesn't motivate you. So make sure that you go step by step. You need to reach the sky, definitely. But first we should reach the rooftop. So you have a target saying that, okay, rooftop is my first target. Then the next step, then the next step. Okay. So I think other thing is assess your self-confidence also. This is another thing this is one very important one in terms of growth. If your self-confidence, if you are able to address it, if you are able to remove the cobwebs in your mind and then be clear about yourself, then actually the growth happens much faster. Otherwise, what happens is I want to go there, but I'm not confident. But when it is not, when you are not confident, your own mind is telling you, saying that it is giving you an indication, saying that, boss, please look at, okay, there is something which is left incomplete. Something is incomplete. Please look at that. Then you will get your confidence. If you are not having time to look at that, then that confidence issue will remain forever. Believe me, this confidence issue will be an internal thing. It is not outwardly. Some of us outwardly we may show saying, "Oh, I am not confident." But most of us, all of us are having a mask saying that, "No, I am confident. I am really manly." Okay. So if you have that mask, you will not know, you will not even recognize the need for this confidence. It's not about, I'm not confident doesn't mean it's something which is very low. I'm not confident means it's an indication that something is missing. So I need to look at what's missing, try to fix that. Then I become confident. Okay. So I think this is what it is in the grow part of it. Just to quickly review the grow and review. In grow, what I said is you should look at managing your boss more actively. You should learn to be a good communicator in your company. You should be a good collaborator. And then finally, you have to take action. Whatever plans that you have put together, you should take action. And then in the review, I'm saying you should review at least once in 6 months. For that, first of all, you need to have a written down career plan. So please use a career plan book and then update your own understanding of yourself. Okay. So this is something which is very important. At some point of time, if you are able to understand about yourself in a very clear manner, that's the day when you start growing in a much better manner. And during the review, please adjust the goals. And also, very importantly, assess your own self-confidence. If you don't assess your self-confidence, you will leave something on the table unattended, and that will slow down your progress. Like, for example, there are many people who want to become consultants. Okay, my experience has been that we have to learn some different skills to become consultants and to be successful as a consultant. Okay, I can call myself reasonably successful because in the last 12 and a half years, I think I've earned maybe almost same as what I would have earned in a job, or maybe more than that. Okay, so that's God's grace. But we have to learn some new skills, believe me. Okay. So I think that ends my presentation, friends. I think if you have more questions, I'm more than happy to talk to you. You can also write to me later on, or you have my number and so on. But right now, if you want to ask some questions, I'm available. Please, you can post questions. Chiranjeevi, um, Vignesh. Yes, Chiranjeevi, how are you?
Good, sir. Good afternoon. Thanks for
Yeah.
connecting you after a long time.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, very happy to hear your voice.
Yes.
Sure.
I gone through your presentation, sir. I think it was very fantastic. You have covered the topics very well. I think the plan and the learning and LinkedIn, which I agree with you, very important to do that and update our soft skills, everything. So I agree all with you, and I think I'm very much good to see all these things. One, except I didn't repeat the question of managing the boss. Okay, I think you are one of the boss. Okay, you know me better than others. Okay, so my question coming to when I was young, I used to shift the companies very quickly, and I could able to be manage easily. Okay, when I work for the company, where I was in line with the company prospects and goals. So I was continuing. So more than long experience I have. So the question is, we are bound to work with the company guidelines, rules, and regulations, and we work like this. Not only me, I mean my colleagues or everybody. So what happens? Suddenly we are in a nice way. Suddenly somebody changes the boss. Okay, he comes from the different background, different country, young guy probably. I'm not taking any example of anybody. Just I'm giving an example that he comes from a different background and his expectation is totally different. Okay, so we work in this fashion, but he expects a different way. So here the handbrakes comes when we try to explain them. Okay, so the handbrakes to stop that, because we want to survey, because when you come to 45 or 50, it is not easy to get in a change the company or you set some standards. So there it becomes very challenging, especially for me or my colleagues, and we have to tune to the boss. Okay, I am the same Chiranjeevi before when I am doing an excellent job with the same company. Now it handbrake. So now what I did is I have to change my orientation towards him, and I came from handbrake to a good person, excellent person. So my question is, see, I'm not doing a right thing. I have born to work in a certain standards, certain systems, which have been taught for last 10 years or 15 years in the same company. But somebody comes in a different background, young expectation different. He don't want to be aggressive. He want to be tuned to his orientation. So we are born to change like this, not only me or colleagues. But why do you do that? Like we should be doing a right thing. What I mean to say, it is not that we should adapt to his expectations. So sometimes, I will give a simple, just a quick example. I'm a job where I have to handle a government officials, but I accepted a boss meeting, but there is a JD or somebody who comes a senior person where I need to greet him or take him. But my boss expectation is I cannot skip his meeting. I have to be there. So here comes a problem. So I have to do my job. I have to influence my boss. So this kind of things, I'm just a practical experience, but I am able to manage. I am in a good books, but still, that is a tough part in your presentation to managing a boss, tuning that way. I'm just giving example, my experience. I'm saying, okay, I may be wrong, sir. Okay.
See, I think what I understand, Chiranjeevi, is that some of the bosses we may not be able to connect so well, especially see, it's like this. You have certain values, you have certain way of working, Okay, when something is going quite against that, and then you have a person who is, we can't say he's wrong or he's bad or something like that, but he's different. Okay. Yes, this problem can come for many people in the career. When it happens, it depends on your, see, that's where, let's say, for example, if you have a good career plan, if you are planning well, you are learning well, you are growing well, and you are reviewing, if you're doing all this, if there can be a situation where it is not repairable. Okay, there is a difference in opinion and so on, and your values are not matching. So it's not repairable. It's not, that situation cannot work, let us say. Okay, it can come for anyone. Okay, then we should be able to. I mean, if you are doing all this planning, learning, growing, and all that, with the minimum damage, I think you will be able to. Change the what do you call change your what do you call the the direction, and then take a different direction.
Orientation,
Yeah.
yes.
You if you don't have all this plan, learn, grow, and all this, you then I think you will have trouble. Okay, because you cannot control that, isn't it? Who is going to come as your boss is something you cannot control. Okay, so anybody can come. Okay, especially in big companies, I think anybody and his uncle can become a boss to us. So when it becomes like that, we have no other way but to change course. Okay. So that's the reason I'm saying this handbrake situation. To handle that, we need to have all this, Chiranjeevi. That's my
Yes, sir.
point.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah. Yes, Damodar, I think, raised his hand. Vignesh. Great to see Chiranjeevi and Damodar next to each other.
It's muted, sir. Now it's okay. You can hear me
Yes,
now, sir. Yeah,
yes, I
yeah.
can.
It's a very nice to talking to you, sir, again. And we are in regular touch because I am also living in Coimbatore 1 week back. Also, last week we have discussed it. It's a very good insight, sir. When you are giving this presentation, no, these are the very basic things where anybody can, especially starters who are starting their career, is very useful tips for them. Of course, I have more than 35 years experience, and my career is going very well until now. Yes, just handbrake has come now. I have put handbrake. Of course, I have made to put handbrake, but I want to take it. I have anticipated this type of things. It is going to happen. I have anticipated 1 year back, and I have mentally prepared for that, and I have started reacting to that when this handbrake will come. And I have started reacted as I told you. Okay, this is not the forum to talk what I am going to do and all these things. I am mentally prepared for that one. And whenever I am coming to you, whenever I am feeling, sir, right from Rane break linings, you are my role model. Really, let me tell you clearly. Whenever I am having some issue, first thing I remember you only, sir. And I will call you and I will test you something. You are my role model, and still you are connecting with free of cost this type of insights based on your experience. This is a very useful, sir. Okay. Thank you for sharing this type of details, sir. These details, which is very helpful for even for experienced decades of experienced persons like me. Definitely, it will be very useful for all the participants. I could see that more than 30 people are participated here today, and it's a very good experience, sir. Thank you for sharing these insights, sir. I think my daughter also asked her to participate. I think she is also participating. I could not see her name, but I think she is also participated.
Okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Fine. I think I see some question here in the chat box. I think Ricky is asking me, update your own understanding of yourself. Please elaborate a little bit more. How do we understand yourself? I think that's what he's talking about. I think, see, Ricky, my experience had been that most of us, while working, we are not aware of the skills. Okay, so we don't look at the soft skills aspect at all. Okay, we think about the functional skills, but we don't think about soft skills. Soft skills is something which is the way you are behaving. Okay, so this is very, very critical, isn't it? Okay, what type of a leadership you are giving to your team? What is all of us? We do some things good, we do some things which is not so good. We need to know what we are not doing well. Okay, and only with that we will improve. So how do we improve? Otherwise, unless we have some sort of a feedback about ourselves, unless we have feedback, we won't understand we think we are doing very well. There is no human being who thinks that I'm doing very badly. There may be some 5% of people who don't have confidence in themselves, but 90%, 95% of us, we think that we are doing very well. So yes, you may be doing very well also, but you need to know about which are the areas you are doing well so that you can continue that. Which are the areas you are not doing well, where you can improve yourself. So I know one plant head, a senior person who takes feedback from his people across the board, across the table, he takes the feedback. Every 3 months, he takes the feedback. So he will tell them that, okay, you guys told me about this. I have these 10 things. I have addressed these 7 things. The 3 I could not address. I will try my level best. Or 2 of them I will not address because I don't want to change that because of this. And he has been doing it for last almost about 10 years. Because of that, he has reached a very mature level where he is able to talk to them face to face. If you go and ask for feedback from your people, most of them, they may not be able to give you. Okay. Because it depends on what sort of a leader you are. Okay. Some of them can give, some of them may not be able to give. Okay. They will just say, sir, you are great, sir. You are fantastic, sir. And so on and so forth. Okay. Which is not useful for us. So I'm saying you need to understand your impact on others. That's in one sentence, if you want me to tell you, that's what is understanding about yourself. Ricky, you want to ask something more? Would you like us to unmute you? Vignesh, can you unmute Ricky?
Yeah, right, sir. I think you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Thanks. I think it's indeed a wonderful session, no doubt. In fact, I'm already with a 30 plus years experience. So I was just thinking if I would have done this training some 15 years back, the things would have been slightly different. But indeed, yes. Particularly this 2 points actually, one, what we talked about to update on our own understanding. I think this is the most difficult part, what I see. As you have said, we all feel ourselves that we are the best. So this is one part. And second part, what I see is the self-confidence, what you have talked about. I think this is another area where I feel maybe this is one area sometimes I feel that we lack. In fact, I also come across sometime, and I want to do, say, like you have done MBA. Suppose I want to do MBA and you have talked about the risk taking. So I was thinking, okay, 15 lakh fees. I don't know whether I would be able to do it or not. So that sometimes we lost that self confidence. So how to work on that? Probably that is one area. Probably sometimes I feel it just comes into my mind. Oh, probably I cannot do it. So whether I should go for this 15 lakh rupee fees and do this course. Actually, at number of places I could not able to come out of it. Though I'm already working as an operations head and doing all those jobs, but still I would just like to know your thought process and how to come out on these sort of issues. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
clear with my question.
Yeah, I'm clear about the question, Ricky. I think it's like this. You're saying, okay, how do we address this issue of self-confidence? So all of us, at some point of the time or the other, we will have this problem of not confident about something, not clear about something. Actually, not confident about something, not clear about the something. Many times it is one and the same. Okay, you are not confident because you're not clear about something. What is that you're not clear about is sometimes you'll have to dig actually. Okay, why am I feeling like this? Okay, so there is some process for that. Okay, and that's where I said you have to learn some of these soft skills. Okay, because the soft skills is what you are using every day, whether you know it or not. Day to day, you are using those soft skills. Some soft skills you are using well, some you are not using well. So if you become aware of that, you can use them better. Okay, so my suggestion is, I think you need to learn about the self-confidence can be addressed. There is a process by which it's a slow process, but you can definitely try to uncover things which are bothering you and then address them. You address them, you become confident. That's it. Okay. So I'm saying it easily, but it is possible. It is possible. Okay.
Right. So
So
I think, yes, I think maybe you are able to put the point, because what is happening when we talk about self-confidence, at few points we are very much confident, and the few points where we are lacking, probably we miss that. So I
yeah,
think I'm with you on this. Right.
I understand. I mean, you can connect offline. We can talk more. Not an issue. Okay.
Right. So thank you very much. It's a pleasure talking to you. So thank you.
LV Surendran.
Sir, Surendran, sir.
Yes, Surendran.
Yes, sir. Sir, I joined along with my wife, sir, actually. She
Oh,
was a
good.
banker. So their clerk officers, everyone are doing the same job only. Only firefighting and managing the any crisis means they are doing that. Just I want to show that actually how you are dealing the things, actually how industries are seeing the things like that. For that only I joined, sir. But my wife was very much happy, sir, about the session. Actually, she noted down all these 4 points, and actually she went for cooking again, sir.
Okay, you're not cooking even on a holiday, man.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Thank you, Surendran. Thank you. Okay, anyone has a question? Rajesh?
Excuse me, sir. Sir, actually, Sriram Mangitapati has a question in chat box, and he asked the question before some time.
Okay, can you unmute Rajesh? Because I answered one question of Sriram.
Yeah, sure.
We'll finish Rajesh and then.
Yeah, good
Ajira.
noon. Yeah, the session was really wonderful. I have some query here. When we write to the seniority level, we always need to, yeah, okay, doing some programs and we can sharpen our skills. But many of the time, learning, unlearning, and experimenting or exploring with a team or the institutions can build our, I'll say, the experience or our way to handle critical issues. What happens, we go carrying along the team or going with the same conventional process, there may be a small growth occurring into the organization. But when we go with a disruptive thinking, there's always possibilities that we can bring about mobility or synergize the team, and growth can happen in an aggressive way. My past experience doing this activity always has helped the organization to have a good growth. But what happens is the team becomes a little bit, some team members become a little bit uncomfortable with the kind of workload happening or the changes into their work culture or work way happening, and always keeps on backfiring. So growth in a initial which goes in a faster way comes in a stagnant mode. So the learning ability, and then so how to handle such scenarios. I'm just going because saying I just wanted a little bit of course question, but this always help is not helping out to bring about a change and a growth, sustaining of the growth. So
You are
how to
saying
mobilize the team or develop the team in such scenarios?
okay. Yeah, I think developing the team is a great subject, Rajesh. I think I would say there are three clear steps to that in motivating the teams to. One is there should be clear goals for the team. Okay, when we say goals, see what I'm talking is in general, because I don't know the specific situation that you have. Maybe later on, if you would like to discuss, you can always connect with me. But what I'm saying is, there are three steps to having a situation where growth happens, team growth happens in a good way. One is you need to have very clear goals for the team. When I say goals, it is annual, monthly, weekly, daily. They should be very clear as to what they have to do. And two, they have to learn towards the goals. And three, is we have to inspire the team to action. Okay, when I say inspire the team to action, each leader will have his or her own method, ways of inspiring. Okay, there are some leaders who work along with the team and then they try to inspire the team. There are some leaders who try to show some other example saying that how somebody is working fantastic manner and then try to inspire the team. Okay, so like that, leaders will have their own personal style as to how to inspire the people towards the goals. Okay, so these three steps, I would say, if we are doing it very well, usually the teams will have, they will be inspired. Okay, but if they are not inspired, if they are not showing interest, what it means is the goals that we have set for the team are not making sense personally to these people. Okay. Um, or they have some huge obstacles, but if huge obstacles are there, I'm sure you would have noticed. Okay, but if they are not getting inspired, they are not coming forward, the change is happening, they are not coming forward. That means the collective buying in has not happened. So we have to work on the buying in. Okay, why the goals are not inspiring them. Okay, we'll have to understand and try to show their personal path to that. Usually in the companies with which I work, what I tell them is when I meet all the engineers and executives, I tell them don't do something because it is good for the company. Okay, please do this because it is good for you. You improve yourself, then company improves. No company will improve if the employees are not improving themselves. It is not possible. Okay, so in that way, if you are really, if your team is not responding, then we have to examine this, saying that the goals of the team seems to be not inspirational for the team. So we have to sit with the team, try to understand that. Haji. Yes, sir. Mohan, I think his hand has been up for some time.
Hi, sir. Sorry, I think I would like to understand one more thing. Maybe it could be a little away from the topics what you have covered. Like, for example, as I mentioned, if at all you want to be a consultant to different companies, but you are still an employee to one company, whether is it legal to do so? That maybe the kind of profession what you are here and being a consultant to a different company with a different profession connect, is it still okay or is it illegal or legal? Just want to understand.
See, depends on your contract with your company. I think most of the companies will not allow you to work for, do anything else, earn money in any other way while you are working for your company. So if that is there in your contract, definitely it is not correct to engage with anybody else. But some companies may allow, especially software companies, and some companies may allow you to work with other companies also. That is, they call it as moonlighting. Okay.
Okay.
So if
Okay.
your company allows you, you can do it. Okay. So the way when I was working, obviously I could not do any consultancy because my company didn't allow it. But when I was leaving, in the last 3 months, I started going and meeting the prospective customers with the permission of my boss. He himself was introducing me to various customers. So that was a mutually agreed this one. So it was working fine. Okay.
Okay. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. I think I can take this last question of Shriram. Yeah, Shriram asked about clear goals. Okay. So I think when we say clear goals, Shriram, I think we are talking about whatever is clear for you, first of all. Okay. But I would say you should have a clear idea of where you want to go. Okay, first of all, if there is a possibility, the fork in the road, that is, you want to work or you want to do something on your own. If you feel no, there is nothing that I want to do on my own, I only want to work, then it's simpler. Then during your work, what are the things that you want to achieve? Okay, in terms of, you can put it in terms of your
Yes, sir.
it got cut, no? But I have come out of the meeting. I don't know. Okay, fine. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, there's some confusion. Anyway, so yes, sir. So Sriram, so what I'm saying is either in terms of your either in terms of your goals, in terms of what level you want to grow and so on, or in terms of money, or in terms of what you want to contribute. Okay, like for example, I know some people, okay, who have set up, um, I mean, objectives in terms of what they want to contribute to the society. Okay, so if that is so. Then what impact you want to make to the society. So let's say, if, for example, if you want to make an impact in terms of spreading TQM, okay, so then that is what is the goal. For example, my own goal, if you look at it, okay, I would like to be in the helping profession. That is where I am. And I would like to help as many people as possible. Okay, not that I am doing it free of cost. I am charging. Okay, but at the same time, I am also looking at not just the money part of it, but what is the impact that I am having on the companies that I am working with, on the people that I am working with. So that's how I think I'm trying to satisfy my own this one, saying that yes, I'm working towards some bigger goal, not just earning money. Earning money is required, but that's not the only thing. Okay. So I think those are the questions I had, and I think a lot of you have put. I think Sounder. Is it the Sounder that I think is, or Sounder, you have put a question. Can you brief about 360-degree feedback effectiveness in corporate performance dialogue? Okay. 360-degree feedback, according to me, it is very useful and very effective. No two ways about that. But if it is many companies, what they do is they try to make it electronic and then put it on online, some sort of a feedback mechanism where people will go and update. Those are not very effective. Okay, 360-degree feedback, to my understanding, is effective only when a coach or a senior HR person speak to the people. One to one, we have to speak to them. Only then you get a proper feedback, because I get feedback when I talk to you from the way you speak about the other person, your tone, and your the way you will mention that person. Those are the ways in which I get the feedback. So communication, as you know, only 7% is words, 93% is everything else. So when you do this online, it totally lost. You get only 7%. That's the reason it doesn't work. But if a coach or if a trainer, someone is talking to the people personally, you get a lot of feedback, and then it is very useful. You can make it very useful, very much possible. So what else? I think, yeah, I think those are the questions. Yeah, I said if any of you are interested in learning more or improving yourself with our help and all that, you can always approach us. We have e-learning courses and we have a methodology for teaching soft skills. Okay, so you guys can approach us. Okay, and you can also go to my YouTube channel, which is management tool desk. Okay, you can try to subscribe for that so that we can be in touch. So I think that's it. Thank you very much for all of you to come and join online. I think we will keep doing these online meetings, online seminars more and more. Please do participate and we can be in touch. Thank you all.